time. You got my heart in the palm of your hands. I swear it's gonna stay there, baby. Give me half a chance. You don't understand, no, the full intent of my plan. Baby, I wanna be your sole provider. Baby, I wanna stay that way for the longest time. Baby, I wanna be your sole provider. Oh, baby, I've been waiting for a long time for somebody like you to give my love, all my love, day and night. Just say you'd be mine for the rest of your life, and I'll show you why. Baby, I wanna be your sole provider. And baby, I wanna stay that way for the longest time.
From the studios of Meds located in Pompano Beach, we bring the news, entertainment, and sports with Sean Garrity. And your headlines. Tourism stakeholders hopeful industry will rebound from stifling COVID-19 effects. Caribbean must prepare against food shortages because of COVID-19. Vibes Cartel teams up with Renee 630 for Sometimes Love Dies. U.S. Olympic trials postponed. The S&P rallies for a second day, while today is National Spinach Day. And now the details. From Nationwide News Net, tourism stakeholders hopeful industry will rebound from stifling COVID-19 effects. President of the Jamaica Association of Villas and Apartment, Vanna Taylor, says she's confident the tourism sector will bounce back following the stifling impacts of COVID-19. Some 300,000 tourism workers have lost their jobs as operations in the sector grind to a halt. Some have raised concerns that small economies like Jamaica's are too heavily dependent on tourism, but Ms. Taylor says tourism is resilient.
Of course, look at tourism, and it's going to bounce back as it was before. The resilience of tourism is, I don't think that there's any other industry that you're going to see as it's going to bounce back. It's going to come back. It's going to come back. Of course, you have to look at other industries, and I implore all of us to do that, and the Jamaica and the world to do that. But the resilience of tourism, trust me, this year, next year, this time, we could be having the same conversation looking back at this period, and I assure you, we'll be back, and it's better than before, and the country will be earning, maybe even much more than it's earning out of tourism, and the world as well.
That's Vanna Taylor, president of the Jamaica Association of Villas and Apartments, speaking late yesterday on Nationwide News Net. From the CNW, Caribbean must prepare against food shortages because of COVID-19. From Kingston, Jamaica, the Director General of the Inter-American Institute of Cooperation on Agriculture, IICA, Manuel Otero, says the coronavirus or COVID-19 pandemic provides a situation for the Caribbean to develop food security strategies and greater efforts to increase self-sufficiency. Approximately 20 countries in the hemisphere are net importers of food. Each year, the Caribbean region alone draws a check for US $6 billion to feed 44.5 million people. Otero said, adding, we must again reassess the role of family farmers who, ironically, although pivotal in ensuring food self-sufficiency, are the adjustment variable in times of economic uncertainty. But he warned that the new generation of pests and diseases affecting men and women, crops and animals such as fusarium on bananas, locusts, and African swine fever create the need for sophisticated surveillance and agricultural quarantine services as a means of reinforcing the importance of health intelligence and prospective monitoring. Otero said that the world is witnessing the spread of a new pandemic, and less than 4 months since it first erupted, this emergency is rocking the world, and we are not yet able to foresee what life will be like in a few months when the dramatic event is finally over. Otero also said that the regional countries will have to strengthen national and regional innovation and development systems before the developed countries leave them behind completely. In entertainment from the tropics, Vybz Kartel teams up with Renee 634, Sometimes Love Dies. Vybz Kartel has dropped a brand new single with Renee 630 titled Sometimes Love Dies. The dancehall superstar has teamed up with the popular dancer turned recording artist for a brand new track. The track is produced by the Short Boss Music, which is run by his common-law wife, Tanisha Johnson. In the track, Kartel and Renee have an emotional conversation about moving forward after a breakup. I know love is gone, but I'm afraid of moving forward, Renee sings in the opening. It is the latest emotionally charged single from the DJ, who has been showing a softer side in recent months. Earlier this year, the DJ surprised fans by dropping an entire album dedicated to his baby mama, titled To Tanisha. Since its release, Sometimes Love Dies has racked up over 269,000 views and 17,000 likes on YouTube. The track could prove to be the springboard that launches Renee 630's career into superstardom.
Why do I feel so scared to move on? Even though I know love is gone. Why do I feel so scared to move on? Even though I know love is gone.
In sports from Track Alerts, the U.S. Olympic trials have been postponed. Organizers of the USA Olympic Team Trials at Track and Field announced that their competition scheduled for June 19th to 28th in Eugene would be rescheduled. Tracktown USA is now working with partners at USA Track and Field and the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic committees on rescheduling the U.S. Olympic Team Trials and Track and Field, said Tracktown USA CEO Michael Riley through a media release. Several sporting federations and fans have also called on the IOC to postpone the games because of the coronavirus, which has killed over 19,000 people. The virus has caused many qualifying events to be postponed or cancelled in the last 2 months. Some athletes aren't able to train due to the containment measures in their country. Although it is not yet clear how long it may take to finalize a new date for the event, our local organizing committee stands by ready to welcome the best athletes in the country to the University of Oregon's Hayward Field once a decision is reached. In business, the S&P rallies for second day. The S&P 500 rallied for a second straight session Wednesday as the U.S. Senate appeared to near a vote on a $2 trillion package to support businesses and households devastated by the coronavirus pandemic. Fred Katema reports for Reuters.
Stocks extended Tuesday's huge rally in a choppy session Wednesday. Industrial stocks powered the S&P higher, with Boeing leading the way. The Dow rose 2%, the S&P 500 gained 1%, and the Nasdaq lost a fraction as the Senate appeared close to a vote on a $2 trillion package to support businesses and households devastated by the coronavirus pandemic. The S&P mounted its first back-to-back rallies since mid-February, but Chaikin Analytics chief market strategist Dan Russo says the markets have yet to bottom.
2 days is a nice start. It does not make a trend, and it's just, I was looking at some of the retracement work on the S&P 500, and you could see rallies in the S&P 500 to 2,700, 2,900 even. Those would hit key retracement levels of the move down from mid-February to this Monday's low, and we'd still be in a downtrend.
Back on Wall Street, Boeing shares rose for a third straight session as governments consider bailing out the aerospace industry. Sources said the plane maker may restart production of its 737 MAX jet by May. And once again, sectors hard hit by the pandemic. Airlines and cruise line operators got a bid. Delta Airlines, Royal Caribbean Cruises, and Norwegian Cruise Lines were among the big gainers. Among the S&P's biggest decliners, Target. The retailer said it'll withdraw its quarterly and full-year financial forecasts, curtail investment plans this year, and suspend its share buyback program.
And today is National Spinach Day.
This is the National Daily.
Welcome to March 26th, 2020 on the National Day calendar. Today we celebrate the reign of green and purple.
If your friend has spinach in their teeth, Do you let them know right away? Of course you do. That's what friends are for. During her reign as Queen of France, Catherine de' Medici liked spinach so much that it was served to her at every meal. Because she was born in Florence, Italy, dishes made with spinach are known to this day as Florentine. And we bet she had a bestie that let her know when her smile was tarnished by the wearing of the green. On National Spinach Day, look out for your friends as you enjoy this mighty green fit for a queen.
And that was the news, entertainment, and sports with Sean Garrity from the studios of the Meds 101, elevating the conversation.
Taco wings, taco wings, taco wings. Taco wings and things. Taco wings, taco wings, taco wings. Taco wings and things. Taco wings, taco wings, taco wings. Taco wings and things. Come here and you will like it. If you don't want it, then don't buy it. So much options, don't fight it. Pick all you want, we don't mind it. We're all kind, we all grind. The best restaurant that will change your mind. You will love us, you will come back for more. Our food will have you running through that door. Look, taco wings and things is the best. And no time will be better than the rest. We're not shy, we spend time with our guests. I thank God, I feel like we're blessed. Look, taco wings, taco wings, taco wings. Taco wings and things.
So, last year you worked around the clock to ensure that this tax season you see a return that may help you to purchase that car that you're longing for, or help you to pay down that interest rate on that mortgage. Well, if you keep doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result, they call that insane! You know what else is insane? All-in-one multi-tax services. All-in-one multi-tax services help you get the most of your return, serving the 52 state nationwide. For information and direction, you can contact Marilyn Johnson at 754-204-1610. That's 754-204-1610. Or stop on by their office at 3888 West Commercial Boulevard in the city of Tamarack. All-in-one multi-tax services LLC gives you the best of your return, offering services that goes above and beyond. So don't hesitate to call Marilyn Johnson at 754-204-1610. All-in-one multi-tax services LLC. Don't forget to ask about our advance loans.
It's insightful, it's factual, it's Flexx News and Sports Daily at 7 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. on the only station that matters, Flexx FM.
The following program contains language and scenes that some viewers might find objectionable. Discretion in viewing is advised.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Lunch with TC. We are going to have such a great show today, ladies and gents, and I promise that I'll be talking with someone who is definitely a philanthropreneur, a philanthropist, I should say. And this person I'm about to talk to in a couple of minutes, ladies and gentlemen, is someone who you want to hear from, especially if you are an aspiring artist, if you're someone who in the fashion industry, or someone who just want to dabble in business, period. I have someone of interest that we're going to talk with. So let's keep it locked. We're going to go to a quick break and come right back, ladies and gentlemen. I do have this individual on hold for a cool minute now, but we're going to free that all up just like how we want the president to free up that coronavirus relief fund. All right? So stay with me, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go to a quick break and come right back with our special guest. All right? Cool. It's a little bit chilly here. We'll be right back.
Taco wings, taco wings, taco wings. Taco wings and things. Taco wings, taco wings, taco wings. Taco wings and things. Taco wings, taco wings, taco wings. Taco wings and things. Come here and you will like it. If you don't want it, then don't buy it. So much options, don't fight it. Pick all you want, we don't mind it. We're all kind, we all grind. The best restaurant that will change your mind. You will love us, you will come back for more. Our food will have you running through that door. Look, taco wings and things is the best. And no time will be better than the rest. We're not shy, we spend time with our guests. I thank God, I feel like we're blessed. Look, taco wings, taco wings, taco wings. Taco wings and things.
So, last year you worked around the clock to ensure that this tax season you see a return that may help you to purchase that car that you're longing for or help you to pay down that interest rate on that mortgage. Well, if you keep doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result, they call that insane. You know what else is insane? All-in-one multi-tax services. All-in-one multi-tax services help you get the most of your return, serving the 52 state nationwide. For information and direction, you can contact Marilyn Johnson at 754-204-1610. That's 754-204-1610. Or stop on by their office at 3888 West Commercial Boulevard in the city of Tamarack. All-in-one multi-tax services LLC gives you the best of your return, offering services that goes above and beyond. So don't hesitate to call Marilyn Johnson at 754-204-1610. All-in-one multi-tax services LLC. Don't forget to ask about our advance loans.
It's insightful, it's factual, it's Flexx News and Sports Daily at 7 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. on the only station that matters, Flexx FM.
The following program contains language and scenes that some viewers might find objectionable. Discretion in viewing is advised.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Man, I tell you. All right, so you see how swiftly we have to change wardrobe? All right, and this is how swiftly we have to change wardrobe. It's freezing inside here. Freezing. For real. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to another edition of Lunch with TC. I am your captain, ladies and gentlemen, and we talk nothing but the naked truth. As a matter of fact, I think that's a nice punchline for the show, the naked truth, because that's what we speak. Our truth is not clothed, ladies and gentlemen. For real, it's naked, meaning you're getting the raw truth right here between 12 and 2. Weekdays, Monday through Friday. First, before going away, let me just say thanks to our sponsor, Taco Wings and Things. Thanks you guys so very much for being a proud sponsor of our show today, Lunch with TC. And I am here to ensure that you guys get the best of Taco Wings and Things. And here's how you get the best. We all know that most of us are self-quarantined right now based on the wake and the rise of the coronavirus, ladies and gentlemen. And we can't move left nor right. We just have to self-quarantine. And it's become mandatory in every state, in the 52 states here. All right? So the 50 state plus the 2 Providence. Everywhere it's mandatory. And it's not just here. It's worldwide, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pandemic right now. So, Taco Wings and Things now make several adjustments to make sure that if you are that person used to go there on your lunch break to enjoy lunch, they're going the extra mile to ensure that you still have the best tasting taco wings and things. So now they're actually delivering to you. Yes. So they're taking the precaution. They know you can't come out, so they're coming to you. How about that? I love these guys. Trust me. All right, so with that being said, can I have lunch today? I'm just kidding. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do have a special guest on hold right now, and we're going to go to her in a couple of minutes. But today, it's no more lines. That's the talk back point today, ladies and gentlemen. No more lines. And the reason why I'm saying no more lines, it's not lies, but lines. There's so many lines that has been drawn. And the detrimental of individuals such as you and I, both citizens and residents that occupy this place, that have been paying their tax religiously every year, and if you don't, you'll be penalized. So why not? Who's going to get penalized now that the people have won this relief fund? All right, so they are actually trying to work hard overnight to ensure that this fund is released in the right way. Now, let me ask you a question. And this is why I said no more lines. Is it even fair? Remember, you know, if you don't pay your taxes, you'll be penalized. Even if you take out unemployment, you get employed and don't report it that you are employed, then they say that they consider that fraud and you'll be penalized. Could be a couple days, months in prison, or pay a hefty fine of a couple $1,000s. Now, who's going to police the police? Meaning, who's going to find these people who are holding up this relief fund? Because I think that this relief fund should have been released last week before last, if you ask me personally. And the reason for that, ladies and gentlemen, it's because people are in dire needs. Now, we already know that most of these things are going to be tax exempt. I know that these funds are actually there in the treasury for times like this, and I'm quite sure this is not something that they just say, all right, let's put this together. This has to be a thing called contingency plan, B, A, C, R, D. For real. Now, the reason for that, ladies and gentlemen, because a disaster can happen at any given time. And a disaster can sink the economy of any country when it comes down to rebuild. Now, this, if it's not considered a disaster, I don't know what else to call it. This is a global disaster. It's like one of those meteor coming from outer space and just like somewhere on Earth, out of the blues, unexpectedly. But to all savvy mankind is right now with technology, if that should happen, they would know prior to it shooting to Earth, and then have some contingency plan to try to prevent it from causing any destruction on Earth. Now, I think that's why them send these people into space, to be on top of a situation like this and spending billions of dollars. I think this is why they spend billions of dollars on all these things in NASA, so therefore when a hurricane is brewing, they can. I think they're actually working on something how to detect an earthquake prior hours or probably a day or two before it happens. Because remember now, devastation, the more casualty you get is because of lack of knowledge, ladies and gentlemen. And the more you know, then the less casualties, for real. Now in terms of like the hurricane, a hurricane used to kill off a whole lot more people before they have this technology. Now we have this technology, people can prepare before a hurricane, you know, make landfall. So with this coronavirus, there was no heads up. But now that we know what to do, this is what I'm urging you guys to do. Put your own health in perspective, meaning let's not sit and wait for the CDC to come up with a vaccine, or the government to say that we have these ventilation pump and we're going to distribute them. Let's see what we can do, like what grandma and grandpa would have done before. Because remember, you know, back in the days now, this is how we rate grandma and grandpa, you know. Grandma and grandpa live hours away from the hospital or the clinic, depending on where you live or where you used to reside before. Now, transportation from there to the clinic or the hospital, that's another story. So before they even say they're going to bring you. Them try to break the fever themselves. They didn't go in the cupboard and look for Tylenol, Fensic. They didn't look for ibuprofen. They didn't look for any of these medication. What they would normally do is go outside in the backyard, collect some bush, and they know the right bush to go collect. Either boil it, mince it, whatever. Give you a little teaspoon, a little taste of whatever it is. It could be garlic, ginger, thyme, mint, whatever. And break the fever to hold it overnight till them can take it to the hospital or the clinic if it's something severe. Now, we have moved away from that because we have become this lazy nation, seriously, a lazy nation that depend on the ibuprofen, the Tylenol, the Fensic, the Advil, and all these things now. So nobody goes back to the original remedy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're living in a time right now where you need to go back to the roots, literally the root of all these things. Yes, I just recently see where people are actually, the amnesia now, it's all coming back to them like Celine Dion. It's all coming back to me now, it seems. Because people now are actually trying their own home remedy, which is the garlic, the ginger, the citrus skin, meaning the peel of the orange or the grapefruit, and boiling it and steaming it and all these things. Now, grandma and grandpa used to use all these things before. The white rum that you have at your house. Some people abuse it by getting drunk in a minute or fight. And it's there for multiple different uses. The alcohol, the rubbing alcohol that you have at home, the Vicks that you have at home. All these things coming right back to the forefront now. Never gone away. It was always there. But now that we see this pandemic is going on and everybody is panicking, some people taking 2 steps back. Now, I've gotten an article last night and I was actually watching this video. I read it and I watched a video where doctors now, especially in the Caribbean, in the tropics, where they telling you about home remedies because no one have a vaccine or whatever it is at hand right now that can handle. And if something created right now, trust me, the fund that you have in your bank account, you're going to need a loan. No, for real. You're going to need a loan to get that right now. However, we see the severeness and the seriousness of this thing, and we need our government to act, to be more proactive in getting these things out, especially for the elder folks. And we don't want it to reach a stage where the kids them know, meaning the babies, are now being affected by it. All right. However, ladies and gentlemen, remember this, and this is why when I said what I said yesterday, was that it's man-made, is the fact that it attacks a certain age group and it more devastating to another certain age group. And then the kids, it's not that it's not prone to them, or not that they are immune to this thing. However, I think that it will trickle down. It's totally different from the flu virus. The flu virus gets just about anybody, even the baby can catch the flu. For real. Remember flu when transformed into pneumonia that get wicked, and then them try to contain that? Tell a boy. There's several things we talk about all week. One of the things we come to talk about today is no more lines. Yes, we don't need no more lines, ladies and gentlemen. And here's why we don't need no more lines. Because we need our government to be a whole lot more transparent, a whole lot more factual where this information is concerned. Because if you're not factual, then you're misleading a nation. And if you're not transparent, simply means you're hiding stuff from a nation. So we need them to be 2 things. More transparent and more factual with the information, because people need to know how to act. Now, if you're not certain about some things, let the persons who you hire go ahead and speak highly of what they know. For real, let them do it if you're not certain about it. So nobody can come and say, well, you said this, if you know what I mean. All right? So let them go ahead and say it, because they're the expert. So all you know you do, you would ask the expert. Cool? All right. So that's all I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say enough respect to Tafari Wallace. It's good to have you here, Tafari. Odette, good afternoon to you, sweetheart. Good afternoon to everyone, of course, the entire team here. Jacqueline, Rocker. Or should I say Rocker? All right, cool. I think I get it right. Good afternoon to you, Jacqueline. And Rick Small. Mommy, I see you here. Oop. you're here. To everyone that is here, good afternoon to you. Thank you guys so very much. You know, at the top of the hour, we're going to share this link, this feed, right? We're live on YouTube at Flexx FM Radio. We're live on Facebook at Flexx FM Radio. We are live on FlexxFM.online, ladies and gentlemen, and many more other platforms too that I can't buzz out made right now. But we're actually simultaneously broadcasting on all those social media platforms, ladies and gentlemen. All right? So whichever one you're on, please feel free to share the link with friends and family members. Cool? All right, so this relief fund now. Georgia Browns, good to have you here. Dante, as you may say. Thank you very much. Now, I'm saying this to you now, ladies and gentlemen, that this relief fund, I know that if it's been disbursed today, tomorrow, or Monday, we know how we are as a people, as a nation. That we'll go up on a rampage to get whatever it is that we want. Some people will get some unnecessary stuff, but that's their business. Well, what it's there for, it's to actually jumpstart back the economy, because the economy take a dive. So this fund is to jumpstart back the economy, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you who are off, and then the stipulation that comes with it, like family member and taxpayers and all these things, and it only goes to certain people. And this is why I said today, no more lines. Because one, we don't want this to just go to a certain group of people. First, it's everybody. Everyone has been affected by this. So we don't want you to say, oh, we'll look out for these persons first, and then we trickle come down the line. No, that's not what we're looking for, ladies and gentlemen. This thing needs to split evenly across the board. Everyone has been affected by this situation right now. So, you know, the time I say I got to think about the older folks first, just like the ventilation pumps them and so forth that people need. Or you're giving it to a certain group of people first. One to this age group that is dying from it. Remember, this thing, I respect age, color, nor anything of that nature, you know. This thing, anybody come across, that's it, you know. So you cannot say that, oh, we'll notice that more women is dying than men. So let's give most of the ventilation to women, or let's give most of the vaccine to women, or let's give out the relief fund to women first. And I'm not knocking women in it. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying. All right. However, it needs to go across the board. You'll say that a family, a married couple with 2 kids or 3 kids, I still think that's wrong too. And that's just my opinion. For real. You have to disburse this thing the same way how people pay them tax a year time. Remember, you know, you never say old people pay tax between so and so, you know. And you never say young people pay tax between this time and this time. Tax go across the board for everybody, old and young. For real. Even the kids that nowadays who work like a 20-hour a week or so forth. So you have to disburse it the same way, bossy. Everybody across the board. Because everybody has been affected right now, old and young. For real. Now, I asked a question yesterday and I said, if you have been infected by the coronavirus before and you've been treated and you're one of them that come up on the statistics number of the side of being recovered, is it possible for you to catch it back again? It's like, I remember growing up on somebody say, if you catch chicken pox one time, that's it. You won't be able to catch chicken pox again. I know persons who catch chicken pox twice in their life, so that must have been a lie. Or if it's not chicken pox and catch a second time, then what is it? This is how I know these things go, ladies and gentlemen, for real. Now, we here ask a whole lot of questions, and sometimes these questions I'm asking, ladies and gentlemen, are questions from our viewers and subscribers. So I'm just relating them back to you because they say, TC, you are the voice of the voiceless. So I'm being that voice. So when I ask these questions on the behalf of myself and the people, but somehow the answers them come slow, you know what I mean? For real. I want to say maximum respect to some of our professional viewers and subscribers, meaning those who are doctors and nurses, lawyers, police officers, soldiers, and then just regular everyday Joe like myself, you know, that's in the chat room that can add a 2 cents of their expertise to the conversations that we have here daily, you know. So much love and respect to you guys endlessly. Trust me on that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the kind of money thing that we talk about is, I don't know if that amount per person can jumpstart back the economy the way they want it to jumpstart, and how long will it last. I really don't know how much longer we're going to be self-quarantined for. I don't know how much longer are we going to be out of a job or been working from home. What I do know is that people are scared now, especially when they are home. There are establishments that are using the opportunity to scale down. This is a perfect time to scale down. No, I tell you about this show, it should be in the naked truth, as I speak the truth. Companies are using the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to actually scale down right now. And scale down in such a sense where they say, we have 50 employees. I think we are overspend on the 50 employee. We are implement some automated system. But because of the loyalty of these 50 employees that have been here with us for over a time. But now that this pandemic thing is going on and we send everybody home, and those who can work from home. When it's time and the ban is lifted and everything, you say it's a green light, we don't need back those 50 employees. So somebody is going to get a call that's saying that, we have a sovereign check for you and so forth, and, based on what's going on and the economy, and we lose so much, for the past couple of months down. It's going to be hard to, keep you on staff. And listen, real talk. This is what they're going to say now. Based on the hit that we have gotten from the coronavirus and the COVID-19, for us to get back on top, we can't get back on top with so many staff. So we actually, laying off some people. Unfortunately, your name is the one that come up and the thing, and how much we rate you as an employee. You've been one of our best employees, and I guess you up at the same time, them a kill you, You've been one of our best employees, and it's, we feel so bad to let you go, but however, the company, we went into the petty cash. That's where we're at right now, in the petty cash. This is how bad things are with us. So, we're going to move into another direction, and just so you don't feel bad, it's not you alone. This is not you alone. Ladies and gentlemen, that's some of the news you're going to be getting, some of you. Not to scare you, but that's what the news is. When this thing is lifted, and they say it's okay to go back to work. Now, some establishment, ladies and gentlemen, are going to be okay because they're going to need the manpower to maneuver and get into certain things. But put yourself in the position in any job that you're doing to know that this place cannot do without you. This place needs you. You are the spinal cord of this establishment. Yes, this job will need you to move to the next level. So when you are choosing a career going forward, ladies and gentlemen, let this be an exemplar or an eye-opener, or let's call it what it is, a wake-up call. Because truly, it is a wake-up call with what's happening right now with the pandemic, ladies and gentlemen. Believe me, if you're not awake right now, you're a zombie, a walking dead. If this doesn't wake you up, if this doesn't wake you up to go back to the natural roots, ladies and gentlemen, back to going to your garlic and so forth, and sometimes these things are some natural thing that, hey, you have a bush called Cersei. I don't know what them call it now. You have another one called Sinkabab. These are some things that grow well and people not pay them the mind. But they're a good thing, every now and again you drink a little Cersei, you have your coffee every week. Cut coffee one day out of the 7 days. Some people drink coffee religiously, like my friends in England. They're a tea country, that, right? However, they just show you that this virus cannot live where heat is. So drinking tea, like my friends in England drink tea every day, my friends in Europe, that means they will be in a better position to fight this kind of virus because it can settle in warm places. So tea is really good. Our friends in China, everything them do are tea and soap. But the wickedest thing, those are the countries that have the most casualties. You notice that? The countries that drink tea royally every day, like China, Japan, and England, Europe, those countries. Tea countries, them, you know. That's what we call them. Every time we go in one of these countries in Europe, the thing is, have to be tea morning, tea midday, tea dinner time, and tea before you go to your bed. I swear to you. But the virus can't live in these warm places, so therefore them urge you to drink a lot of tea and drink a lot of... But guess what? These countries have the most casualties. How so? I don't know. So things that make you go, So it's not just drinking tea, something warm, ladies and gentlemen. It's also what is it that you're consuming. So therefore, let's go back to our roots now. We could start plant up a little mint and thyme, and that's the source that we are run wild. We could put some and put on, make it dry. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you how good these things are. There are people out there who are capitalizing on these things. Now you can get source in tea bag. You can get busy in tea bag. You can get mint in tea bag. You get that long time. Ginger now. You remember ginger? Sometimes you have to grate or cut up or mash up and boil it, and then you just make a little tea. Now you get that in a tea bag form. Now listen. People are knowing that these things are good enough. Garlic. How you can get a garlic now? You can get minced garlic now in any store. You don't have to get the hard thing anymore. You can get it minced however you want it. For real. You have the garlic now in powder form. So these things has been a part of our day-to-day life, and we just tend to walk past them like that's it. Ladies, you know how good the aloe vera is. Not just for your ear, but also to intake. You know how good that is? Not just to put on your son or your daughter finger so they can stop sucking a finger, but for more intake. Trust me, it is. So we just need now to be a little bit more conscious of these things that are already been around us. And when we consume them, we don't consume too much. As I said before, if you drink your coffee, you can pause Coffee Tuesday and drink some mint. Go back to Coffee Wednesday, and on Thursday, you drink a little Cersei or a little Busy. For real. These plants have been put here on earth, ladies and gentlemen, for times like these. There's no disease on earth that doesn't have a cure. None. Not one. It don't matter what they want. So them could have created it, manufacture it, or what they want to do with it. There's not one that there's not a plant out there with a cure for it. Believe me, ask anyone in front of me in the medical field. All these medicine you're taking, plant-based, you know. Plant-based. These hard drugs that them call the cocaine, plant-based. Remember marijuana, weed, ganja, what do you want to call it? There's so many names for it. One of the plant that a lot of people get wealthy out of it, and it's not by medicational purposes. Now we see some people that get it for medicational uses. It's one of the best medicational plant ever that has been discovered. And how can you deem something like that narcotic? Because someone used it a different way, like every other thing. I see people that get high off of NyQuil. I see people that get high off of Benadryl. So anything overuse, ladies and gentlemen, can consider abuse. For real. So once you abuse anything, if a doctor prescribes the simple ibuprofen for you and tell us to take 2 a day and you take 6, you will end up back in the hospital probably dead. I'm telling you, anything overuse is abuse. So some people abuse it, ladies and gentlemen. Even the food itself that you eat, if you overeat, it's an abuse. For real. So we have to know, be mindful of these things that we're doing. Marijuana. Now I think the marijuana is very good for this virus, yeah, I know. And probably some of them know, but them not going to tell me because them feel like, you know what I mean? Or watch the levels. No, marijuana is legal in several states around the United States. No, marijuana is legal in countries around the world. In some countries, it was legal before. They never saw it to be illegal. It's just funny how my country never had a spinal cord, simply mean have a backbone. The leaders of my country, anything any other country telling them, just take it like an idiot. Without even asking why. Imagine this is a place where the marijuana is very pure when it grows. The only island around the world. Remember, you know, this plant grow all over the place, you know, not just Jamaica alone, you know. It grow here, it grow there, it grow everywhere. But there's some reason about the one that grow in Jamaica. The silent Jamaica about, I don't know. God just say Isle Island is a marijuana island. So nobody call it a reggae island no more now. Beach, the island for great beaches and resorts. It's a weed island. For real. If you want the best weed and marijuana, and you can't say me an advocate right now. Because once this thing I live, we're going to need to build back the economy. So anybody who's marijuana lover, you can just go Jamaica. Farmers are working right now. For real. But however, let me say this to you though, with some seriousness, all fun and joke aside. How is it you can have the best marijuana grow in your island and other countries are profiting off of it and you don't find ways how to transport it to the country that have it legal? Because another country that you're doing business with saying it's illegal. It's illegal in your country, so I won't ship nothing to your country. But I'm going to do business with this man over here, so that it's legal in his country. Because I think over somewhere there in Europe, somewhere over that side, like Australia and some of them places there, even in Italy, you can go to some place and buy the marijuana. They have the weed shop long time before these countries. You know why these countries are capitalized on it? Because them see how profitable it is in those other countries. Trust me on that. So them say, well, hey, let's make some money and fight the legal way. The big profit of them for marijuana here in America is the big guys them that can have it come through the ports them. They are the one. And the government them in Jamaica now, who have been yeah man, them know themselves, man. The reason why them not trying to deal with the people who have it legal, because them other friends them have them locked in already. So them say X amount come in, X amount go out. Some of them need for check mark, man. For real. Now I feel like that the country needs a spinal cord, meaning the government system, the government body, if you know say, yo, we are grow this and we in a business where you want to say, you want to say, you want to say, if it legal over here, so we are ship it go over there, so. Our port this. We control the port, you know, but no, at least, do they sell the port out? Hey, I don't know, really, I'm sure it'd be fun. In all honesty though, Jamaica sell out a lot of them infrastructure. So we could build it back with some marijuana for that we have. For reggae music we have, we could find out how we can sell reggae music. Because Germany are capitalized off it. Japan done rape it royally several times. And then you have other countries like the US now. Reggae becomes so big right now, them are create them own reggae genre. So now we have to find ways of sell with reggae, sell with white rum without the limit and restriction, sell with marijuana without limit and restriction, and sell with performing arts without limit and restriction. Why is it there's so many great actors in Jamaica, but you never see most of them hitting Main Street in Hollywood? Why? Them either have a born of a parented from England or US or Canada. It's always that. We never see a raw Jamaican with them talent just come from Jamaica and go Hollywood and make it big. Why? Check the levels, man. There's more to it, man. Some people have been blackballed long time. Hollywood blackballed people from long time now. Remember, as a black actor in Hollywood, the only role they can get in is to be a helper, a slave, just to describe black. They would rather use a white man, black him up, put on a rasta wig on him, and him come on. Yeah, man. What? So artificial. When you can get the real core from the island and bring up. Because you have some great actors in Jamaica. We have proven that to you already. I'm not even going to talk about the legendary Oliver Samuels, them and Mafia and them youth, the Titus and them people. I'm not even talking about those who didn't get that break and they were great actors and actresses there. But we see the black ball how it go. Now, we see the pandemic go on and everybody has craft right now. There's no more racial profiling go on now because it's not just black I catch it. It's white, Hispanic. It's everybody catching it right now. For real. Now, in every good there's a bad. For real. And we know that. And this is why we have to be mindful of our day-to-day living. This is why we don't need lines, ladies and gentlemen. We don't need to draw a line against nobody right now. This shake-up right here probably be a godly shake-up between me and you. Between you and I, this probably be a godly shake-up. Meaning God just say, alright, do not go on too much now. Sweep the nation with this thing. I probably that happening now. You remember back in the days of Moses when the plague them used to come about? and them thing there. Then I see that are going right now. And Moses time, Kojo, talk to me, Kojo. Because I know you're there. And Jacqueline, I talk up to you, so I'm going to come talk to Jacqueline in a minute. But ladies and gentlemen, you remember in Moses time when the plague them come around and all these things, several different plague. One was a frog, one was the insect like the cricket or the grasshopper or then the flying thing then. And then you have the sea that turn red and all different plague and them say, yo, they might kill every firstborn. You know, some little thing they come up on the land. And that just a cycle, you know. Look what's happening now. Like history repeats itself. It's like it cleanses itself and come again. So I think that the nation is going through a cleansing process right now. Cuss me if you don't want to cuss me. But I tell you before that this is the naked truth, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how to speak it any other way. I think that the world is going through a cleansing process right now. And for something this global, that means Father God probably are going to beat me, you know. And some are Christian them too, you know. It show them up, you know. So all them are get a beating too, you know. But I feel like them exempt from this, you know. They too are getting a beating. For real. So take on the beating, man. And come again. It's called a cleansing process. Then you see show up some world leaders. Some world leaders who the I am mighty realize them don'ts. When I say don'ts, I mean don'ts. Now have no common sense, much less capital sense. For real. It showed them up to them last. I mean, I talk people around the world, you know, I not just talk about United States, Mexico, Canada, China, Japan, France, Italy. No. Worldwide, it shows up some great people who are lead. That for sure say, when you take a step, you think back and you hold your chin and say, So I wonder if this man and lead we all this time. I wonder why we can't move from point A to point B. And then just the leader alone, you know, is everybody that fall underneath in the cabinet with this person. Get them saying I have one person on the team who can constructively come up with something that says, based on the fact of what's going on, let us do this and do that, just to contain what's happening right now and making sure that our citizens and residents and visitors are not panicking. How can people tell people to come out of them city when the virus, they're everywhere? And then nobody are bring it coming in the city. How can hotel close them doors from people right now? Based on the fact say, yeah, try to contain something. And you not implement a law and say you cannot do that. Seriously. Joke thing. We can't see it another way than a joke thing, ladies and gentlemen. So, in a couple of minutes we're going to a break and my special guest is patiently waiting, ladies and gentlemen. But before we do that, let me remind you that no more lines. Not lies, but line. Ladies and gentlemen. We still line for everything right now. I'm not even talking about those lines. I'm talking about the line that you're drawing between your brothers and sisters where this thing is concerned. I'm talking about the line that you draw with your neighbors and your friends where these things are concerned. I'm talking about the lines that the pastor them draw from the members them that come to the congregation. I'm talking about the lines them that people who are put in a position to protect and serve draw these lines nowadays. These borders where these countries are put in and so forth. Ladies and gentlemen, the world didn't belong to all of them, you know. It's still not. It belongs to all of us. We should be free to go where we want to go. Like I said months ago, the United States implemented a system. I don't know about any other country, but I can talk about where I'm living. Where if you don't wear your seatbelt, you're going to be paying a fine. Now, in my life, you know. So I should be able to choose, because remember, God gave us a thing called free will. So I have a choice to choose if I want to wear my seatbelt or not. Now, I can understand if you give me a ticket for the safety of my passenger in the back seat, such as a child. Because if I have an adult that's sitting in the passenger seat and don't want to wear the seatbelt, that's their business. If we meet an accident and them dead because they choose not to wear the seatbelt is there for them too. And they know that. And I can tell you to put it on, and if you don't, then why are you finding people for that? Big man and big woman for those things. Yeah, rob the people and bossy. Now, if you stop my car and I don't have on my seatbelt, but my child in the back doesn't have the seatbelt on, No, it's up to the responsibility of that individual to make sure and to ensure that the child in the back have a seatbelt on. Now, that you can find someone for, the safety of the child. However, as an adult, we shouldn't be paying no ticket for not wearing seatbelt. Oh, it's the law. Who made those stupid laws? When you have big people you not deal with. If you reach 18, you have a choice. If you can't tell me, say, I can't vote at 18, you give me the choice too. And then some people now are going to make things mandatory. Man, I just shouldn't have the time for getting and diving into these things. However, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a quick break and come back. But before we do that, let me remind you, please remember, go now and share this link. Whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, FlexFM.online, wherever means you're watching from. Share this link right now, because when we return, a very special guest, which is Coral Rose, or is it Carla or Coral? Coral Rose. We'll be talking with her in a couple of minutes. She's all the way in England, ladies and gentlemen, in the UK. And we're going to bring her in via our system that we have here. All right, so stick and stay with me, man. We'll be right back after this break. Please share. I'll be back.
Taco wings, taco wings, taco wings. Taco wings and things. Taco wings, taco wings, taco wings. Taco wings and things. Taco wings, taco wings, taco wings. Taco wings and things. Come here and you will like it. If you don't want it, then don't buy it. So much options, don't fight it. Pick all you want, we don't mind it. We're all kind, we all grind. The best restaurant that will change your mind. You will love us, you will come back for more. Our food will have you running through that door. Look, taco wings and things is the best. And no town will be better than the rest. We're not shy, we spend time with our guests. I thank God, I feel like we're blessed. Look, taco wings, taco wings, taco wings. Taco wings and things.
So, last year you worked around the clock to ensure that this tax season you see a return that may help you to purchase that car that you're longing for, or help you to pay down that interest rate on that mortgage. Well, if you keep doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result, they call that insane! You know what else is insane? All-in-one multi-tax services. All-in-one multi-tax services help you get the most of your return, serving the 52 state nationwide. For information and direction, you can contact Marilyn Johnson at 754-204-1610. That's 754-204-1610. Or stop on by their office at 3888 West Commercial Boulevard in the city of Tamarack. All-in-one multi-tax services LLC gives you the best of your return, offering services that goes above and beyond. So don't hesitate to call Marilyn Johnson at 754-204-1610. All-in-one multi-tax services LLC. Don't forget to ask about our advanced loans.
It's insightful, it's factual, it's Flexx News and Sports Daily at 7 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. on the only station that matters, Flexx FM.
The following program contains
It's insightful, it's factual, it's Flexx News and Sports Daily at 7 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. on the only station that matters, Flexx FM.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, of course. It is Lunch with TC. It's brought to you by Taco Wings and Things. They are a proud sponsor of our lunch. They're located at 6755 West Oakland Park Boulevard in the city of Lauderhill. Now, the numbers to get in touch with Taco Wings and Things is 754-779-7866. Again, that number is 754-779-7866. Now, if you want them to deliver to you, all you have to do is just call that number. And trust me, if you're in the vicinity, simply mean geographically that area where they can reach you in a convenient time, trust me, they will deliver, all right? Call and find out if you are in that radius. Taco Wings and Things, ladies and gentlemen. 754-779-7866. All right, so in the background, you see my special guest right here, of course, Carolyn Rose. She's with me today, and we have so much to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. And you see how patient she is? She has been in that spot from 10 o'clock today, for real. Hi, Carolyn, how are you?
Shalom, it's Carol, brother.
Hi, I'm feeling blessed today. I'm feeling good. All right, so there's something. Can you hear me?
Feedback. Yes, I can, but there is a feedback.
Is that okay? So you know what to do whenever I am. All right. So can you hear feedback now?
No, it's perfect.
Okay, cool. Thank you so very much. All right, so Carol, ladies and gentlemen, is what someone I would call she wears so many hats, especially in the fashion industry, and of course, you know, taking business from 0 to 100. She's someone who you would want to align yourself with if you're planning on becoming an entrepreneur, if you are someone who are planning to go in the fashion industry. She is that person to go to. She's someone who I would like to call the go-to person, a great advisor, ladies and gentlemen. I'm quite sure she wears many hats, so we're going to find that out today and more. So, Carol, I know that you are resided in the UK. Is that so?
That's correct. I'm in a small town.
Okay.
That vibration is there.
Okay, so were you born in the UK?
No, in fact, I was born in. It's there again, the vibration.
Okay.
I was born in Jamaica.
You have to mute me when I'm talking to her, okay? So it doesn't give her an echo. All right, so I'm mute. Say again, you were born not in the UK, but?
No, I was born in Kingston, Jamaica. My three of Jamaica, and we all in the UK. So my formative years, I lived in the
Oh, okay, so you're like some of us who actually migrate at a tender age and go overseas, so therefore that explains the accent. You have it down pat so well. You don't even speak a word in patois.
No,
okay, so that means I think you spend a lot of summertime in Jamaica then.
No, there's a lot of vibration, there's a lot of feedback.
It's better now, right? You can hear me much better now.
Only when I speak. It's only happening
when you speak.
Yes.
All right, so our producer is actually working on that right now. We shouldn't be having that feedback. Okay. However, they're working on it right now as we speak. There's like 3 persons over there working on it. While they're working on it, though, let's get into some things. We know that every country have a thing called Fashion Week. Especially here in Miami, one of the biggest things is Fashion Week in Miami, in New York, in California. These are some of the states that fashion is huge in, and I'm quite sure when you talk about fashion, it's like the birthplace for it is actually where you at right now. In the UK, in Italy, in these places. Tell me a little bit, how did you get involved in fashion though?
Just to say first of all, I'm going to touch briefly on I have a really important message. So I always making also my favorite pastime, especially freedom of and you suddenly come to a very dark I remember feeling very isolated. And I would turn, I would make old clothes, and then my mum did designer, and I just said, okay, I'm a fashion designer, and made a very career in the fashion industry over the years.
Okay, so I can actually hear the echo that you're talking about right now, and
Yeah.
they're actually working on that, Coral, and I'm not even going to give them a minute to sort it out, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually work with them in getting this thing together, because I understand what's happening here, but in the meantime, because you have a story and I like your story, so I really want to hear much about what is being said right here, right now, where your thing is concerned. So let me try to find this thing here. We're gonna go to a quick break and come right back, and when we return, we're definitely gonna make sure that this thing is a-okay.
Okay.
Okay. I think we kind of get it right now, so we're gonna come back to you. All right. So I think they have it down pat right now.
Okay. I just went to get some water.
She's just
I thought I cheated it.
So she'll be right back.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I see she's back right now. So I think that they figure out what the echo is right now.
Okay.
All right. Thanks to our peeps on online who actually type in that there is an echo. Cannot hear her too much echoing. So it's getting better. All right. Fire stayed. All right. So we get it right now. So. However, instead of, you have to keep this here and this here, so we have to do that. Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay. So, Carl, I think they actually get it right now. So the fact that they get it right now.
That's better. That's better.
Okay, I think you sound much better on my end too. Thank you so very much for your patience. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So back again now. Let's ask this question. Where the question is, you were born in Kingston. You actually raised in the UK. You were actually dabbling into fashion as a little girl growing up. So therefore, all these things that you're involved in right now is a passion of yours at this stage, right?
Absolutely. You could say that I cut my teeth in the fashion industry. And because it's such a dynamic industry that's spread out throughout the four corners of the world, you have to develop some amazing skills to be able to bring things together on time, because the ultimate objective is you're creating a product in sketch form. You take it from a two-dimensional drawing to a three-dimensional prototype, to manufacturing, then to distribution, and that has to be done in a timely fashion. So, being in the UK, most of our clothing is produced offshore. So you have another dynamic where you're having to work with other countries who do not speak your language. So you develop a lot of skills that I call transitional skills that can be used in other industries, in just about any industry. And so that's what I've done in terms of using my skills to not just work in the fashion industry, but also advising other businesses. My ethos around advising businesses about growth and scale is purely ethical. The world calls it sustainability. I call it principle in dealing with human beings and commerce, finances. On my profile that I sent through, I state that I believe in the Ubuntu principle of I am because we are. So it's a collective effort. So if I'm a company, we should look after our people. We should look after those individuals that work within the organization, because we don't own them. You trade your services with me because I've got a platform, because I cannot run this business on my own. Fashion is the second most polluting industry in the world, second to oil. It leaves a negative footprint wherever it is in the world, not only in the chemicals that are used to change fiber to fabric, but also in the human suffering that goes on in the manufacturing industry that tends to take place in quote unquote developing countries, where there's a huge labor force and cheap labor can be exchanged for the manufacture of goods to supply the West. Most of these countries, and I've visited nearly every section of the world, do not even wear the clothes, especially in Bangladesh and places like that, where a lot of manufacturing takes place. They don't even wear Western clothes in the factories. So it's purely to service what I call our appetite. I call it a want by want cycle that we have adopted in the West. And we, as ancient people, need to now fall away from that. And this, I hope, and I'm going to speak, if I may, because I want to get this topic, I want to get this message out. And you mentioned, as I was listening to you, my brother, that this is a time for truth. And we're in a very, not in our generation have we experienced a time like this. It's almost epic. It's almost Hollywood-like. You've seen this thing in films, and you never thought that you would see the day that this would just be sprung up on us. It was just sprung on us, and within a month, in fact, less than 3 weeks, the world has come to a standstill, and nobody really knows what's going on. Okay, so I hope that I will be able to, with the help of the Most High, impart some truth to our people, and I want to set the context, because we have a specific role to play in healing the world, and I want to put that into context. And this truth must be revealed because they have hidden it. In particular, they have hidden it in the so-called Holy Book, and this is a knowledge that will set the world free, because truth is the light that will lead man to freedom and salvation. I want to first say that I am not here to promote any religion. I am not a Christian, an African spiritualist, or a Muslim, or any other. I've been around these religions, so I understand them. But now I speak as one who has come into the knowledge of truth. I study the Torah, which is the Old Testament. I study the New Testament. In the Torah that I study, there are books that has not been given to us in the canonized version of the Bible, called the New King James Version, the New King James Bible. And I have come to learn that the books that they have put together, where there is a number of books missing. I've got 88. This King James Version had 66, but there are so many. Some have been destroyed, some have been in vaults, some are still yet to be discovered, but we're going into the age of knowledge. So what will happen is we're being called back to this knowledge, in particular, our people. And I'm not saying that to discriminate, because I'm going to get to a point in a minute. So in these books are instructions. I've come to learn that it's our history book. In the books are instructions on who we are and how we should live our life and what happened to us while we're in this position. And I'm speaking specifically to the diaspora of Caribbean people. Okay, I can't name all the islands, and the American people who choose to call themselves African Americans. I'm speaking to all of our people who were carried captive on a westerly course and ended up in what we call modern day Egypt. Meaning, and I say this, the ancient word is Mizraim, modern day Egypt is not one place, but is a kingdom system. Because if we understand the rulership that we're under right now, which is Romanic, we'll understand no matter if you find us in America, if you find us in the Caribbean, if you find us in the UK, we're under a Romanic system. So how can I start? And I'm going to say it I'm not going to mince my words. We are children of Israel, members of the 12 tribes of Israel. That is documented in the book, and I'm going to call it a holy book because the scriptures doesn't make you holy. You said something earlier about the church, where fire is on the church, and I'm going to go through that in a little bit. And I will probably get a lot of backlash from so-called Christians, but it's time for truth. And what will happen? Those who know will hear, and you either take it, go and research it, or the Ruach will administer to you. You call it the Holy Spirit. In the Hebraic language, it's the Ruach HaKodesh, will administer to you what the truth is. Because I tell you this, we have it in our DNA. And if we allow ourselves to be called back to our memory, we will know who we are. There's whispers about it. People are whispering, hold on a second, something's not right. Who are we? Because memory is encoded in our consciousness. So, we are the children of Israel. I'm going to give you just a few scriptures that tells us from way back. And I say scriptures because I study the ancient books because they're history books, and I repeat that. That gives us some inkling as to who we are. And I've got a lot of notes here because why I bring up notes is because I don't want to speak. I want to give you the message as I receive it after prayer and meditation. Okay. So we're descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth through what was known as the Atlantic slave trade, colonialism, and a lot of migrations over the years because our temples and our lifestyle was destroyed by Romanic forces. Okay, so there was a mass migration of us throughout the four corners of the world, even before a particular tribe or particular tribes were taken into chattel slavery. Okay. Now, if you know scripture, you will know that a point in Genesis, and just to say to you that the Genesis that they give us in the King James Bible is only a microcosm of the books of the beginning. In order for you to understand the fullness of the beginning, you need to know the book of Enoch. I've lost sight of you, brother. I can't see you. You need to understand the book of Enoch, the book of Jubilees, the book of Jasher. There are so many. The book of Joshua. There are so many books that we need to study in order for us to understand the bigger picture as to what happened in the creation story. So if I just quickly go to Genesis 15:13, if we know the scriptures, we know that Abraham, who is the father of, or the patriarch of that 12 tribe lineage, he had a vision. And the Most High said to him, Abraham, know that of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and they shall afflict them for 400 years. And then the scripture goes on to say in 15:4, and I say also that nation that they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. Throughout the scripture, that pertains to our history. And I'm going to just go to Deuteronomy. Brother, am I still online? Okay. I'm going to go to Deuteronomy 28:68. Which just very briefly gives us I don't want to say overview, but it just tips on what happened to us in the Atlantic slave trade. And this was we were in Egypt. We lived quite happily in Mitzrayim, or modern day Egypt, for a very long time. And the children of Israel were there over 300 years and flourished. But as the dynasties in Egypt rose and fell, a particular pharaoh came into power and wasn't so happy to have the children of Israel. We weren't called that at the time. We were a particular group of people, but we were very powerful because our fathers were astrologers, alchemists, herbalists, all the things that Christianity tells you not to be in, and we'll talk about that. This was our power. It says Abraham had many gifts. These weren't gold and silver, that was some of them, but these were spiritual gifts that we had, okay? And part of that was music, okay? Because music is a particular vibration. So, hold on. I just want to find Genesis 28:38.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, we're here and we're talking with, of course, Carl Rose, and a very interesting conversation that we're having right here. And if you're just joining us, this is one of the links that you really want to share for some of you, especially my friends who are online. At Audit, I know that you're there. Marilyn Johnson, you're there. Alan Cunningham, that's Dr. Alan Cunningham. I can see you there. Where is my good friend? I see Georgia there, and Mitch McLean, Julian Lee, Kojo is there. Kojo, I hope we're learning something today. Of course, I know you're very much entwined, in tune with the conversation of my sister, Carl Rose, right now. All right. So, Carl Rose, go ahead.
I'm just trying to find the scripture because I think it's just maybe nerves. Right. So it's Deuteronomy 28:68. There's no other nation on the planet that this scripture pertains to. Now, I'm going to use the word God and Lord because that's what we've been conditioned to use, but I call him Yahweh. It says, the Lord will send you back in ships to Egypt. Let's read the King James Version, because that's what we are very familiar with. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, meaning the promised land. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies as male and female slaves. It says for bondmen and bondwomen, and no one shall save you. That's just an excerpt. I would encourage everyone to go to the book of Deuteronomy and read the whole book of Deuteronomy, okay, to understand what has happened to us. No one, so in the annals of history has of the history of now has a history like that, other than us in the diaspora, okay. So what happened to us? We fell from grace. We were given laws to uphold, and we didn't uphold those laws. Our ancestors didn't uphold those laws. So in the book of Deuteronomy, we were given the blessings and we were given the curses. Our ancestors said, well, let the curses be upon us. And so therefore, the sins of the fathers visited the third and the fourth generation, which is us. Okay, so as I said, the scripture, the books, is a lineage, or gives us our lineage. Every part of it pertains to the children of Israel, their captivity and their release because of disobedience. Now, why were we special to the Most High? I'm going to just give you an overview from the book of Jubilees, which is very important to understanding who we are and Genesis, okay? And this is in the book of Jubilees 2:18. Why we were special. We were meant to guard a Sabbath for the earth. It says, and he gave us a great sign, the Shabbath, that we should work 6 days, but guard the Sabbath on the seventh day from all work. And all the angels of the presence and all the angels of sanctification, these two great classes has he bidden us to guard the Shabbat with him in heaven and on earth. And he said unto us, behold, I will separate unto myself a people from among all the peoples, and these shall guard the Shabbat. And I will sanctify them unto myself as my people, and I will bless them as I have sanctified the Sabbath, and do sanctify it unto myself. Even so I will bless them, and they shall be my people, and I will be their, my book says Elohim, your book will say, you would say God. And I have chosen the seed of Jacob, which it was Jacob who became Israel, that was the progenitor of the 12 tribes of Israel. from amongst all that I have seen, and have written him down as my firstborn son, and have sanctified him unto myself forever and ever. And I would teach them the Sabbath, that they may guard the Sabbath thereon from all works. And thus he created therein a sign in accordance with which they should guard the Sabbath with us on the seventh day, to eat and to drink and to bless him who has created all things. And he has blessed and sanctified unto himself a peculiar people. There's no one on the planet that is like us. Why? Look at our hair. I'm going to say it. Our hair, nobody has this hair formation, peculiar, that which is not like anything else. Okay? I will secure unto myself a peculiar people above all peoples, and that they should guard the Sabbath together with us. Us, if you understand that the Father of creation is not singular, because he manifests in himself in many ways to reach us on earth. Now, I'm just going to say a little bit more about the Sabbath before I go into what's going on at the moment for us. Why this is very important for us, brother, because you said something. You said that truth is something that's very important. One, we are now on lockdown. What are we going to do as a people? Because this is very important for us. Whilst we have time to just not run and be crazy, we should be looking inward to connect to the Creator, right? He says, the Sabbath is a rest day to hear from me and to replenish of the Spirit and return your energies to him or her, because we understand that the Holy Spirit is a female principle. Now, that's going to upset a lot of Christians and a lot of religious people. But what can I say? He needs us as much as we need him, because he needs a body and a vessel to work through. What does he want from us on the seventh day? He wants us to give him praise, and he wants us to come together as a people to love and cry out in one voice to intercede for the nations. He says the prophets knew this. They have hidden the truth and have given us another rest day, the Sunday, for us to praise to the one who wants to destroy creation. But this will not stand, because it's now up to us when we take this knowledge and do what we are asked to do. He says there is no such thing as a Christian doctrine. Not that the belief in the Most High is not right, but the doctrine of Christianity is what has kept our people down. The ancients knew this, and they tried to teach us the truth of ourselves. This doctrine is sent to hold man down to the power of himself. Because the scripture says, and we know it in 1 John 4:4, it says, little children, and I'm just going to read a snippet of this. You are of God and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. What is Father telling us? That your spirit, your body, your temple carries the Spirit of the Most High, because he said, I created you in my image. He created black because in the image of heart. And that's not for us to boast, because this is a heavy burden that we carry. He created us in his image of heart, means that we have the vibration to connect back to him. He didn't create race. That was an ideology set up by another group of people to create confusion. Why he had to use skin to denote us? Because that's what it's gone to. But we are the chosen people of the scriptures, chosen to guard the Sabbath, because it's a sanctification for the earth, and the earth to be replenished through our meditations, through our prayers. And we were meant to be a righteous priesthood on the earth to make atonement for the nation and to be a glory of the presence of the Most High on earth. So what does he want us to do? Sorry, it's gone a bit funny again.
Let me say something to you real quick. For those of you who are just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's Lunch with TC. Of course, my special guest is all the way in the UK right now. We're talking about, of course, my sister, Coral Rose. And, what we're actually here talking about is nothing but the truth. What we consider the naked truth. Now, you may call this our opinion because of your personal belief. Now, as she stated earlier, she's not knocking anyone's beliefs or so forth. But it's time for us to speak what we consider is the truth, ladies and gentlemen. And she's hitting here some bold points. And all I want you to do is like what I'm doing. Sit here, listen. There's nothing wrong with listening. Not knocking your belief, not knocking your religion or whatever it is. She made a disclaimer earlier. She's not a Christian, a Muslim, whatever one, or ever. She's someone who is seeking the knowledge. And she's just dispersing time. Sometimes all we need to do is take some time out and listen. And that's what I'm doing, and I hope that you guys are doing. I see Kodja normally would be conversing a lot in the room. Obviously, Kodja is listening. All right? Now, with that going said, I said this earlier, Coral, that a lot of people don't understand that the book itself, the Bible, we have been brought into a world of, this is nothing near our culture. It's not our culture. One, we were brought here, we were taught this language, we were taught this religion, everything that we are doing right now in this generation, we have been taught that because we have been taken away from our true culture. So we know nothing of our native culture. The schooling that we have gotten teach us nothing about our true ancestors. We know nothing about our true ancestors. Yeah. I am from Jamaica, and one of the most powerful person that has been passed off, for me personally, was Marcus Garvey. And Marcus Garvey wasn't even just an hero in my country. He was a hero globally. Personally, we'll come on to Pan-Africans and so forth. And I think that we didn't learn much about Marcus Garvey while going to school in Jamaica. So imagine how much they have sheltered the truth from us. Now, this is one of our own, Jamaicans, And in our curriculum that we have gotten from primary school coming all the way up, the only thing we know, Marcus Garvey is a national hero. That's it. Nothing more. We don't know about the struggles that he had went through, the mission that he was on. It's only when I come to America I get to understand how great Marcus Garvey was. Not to mention others out there who have not been mentioned or it has been hidden. The Bible itself, as I like to call it, a history book, for one. It just have some documented of some past activities and so forth. And it's a guideline for Christians who, and I try to tell the Christian listeners that, listen, this religion called Christianity is a religion that was deemed underground way back in the days. When I say underground, meaning they couldn't come publicly and have these churches that they have now. That could have never happened back in those days. If you read your Bible carefully, you will understand that. Kodja in the chat room says, let me just read quick. Just scattered us four corners of the earth. The book of Isaiah. Jah was upset with Israel. Now, we're going to give you an opportunity to dwell on that just a little bit, but let me go to what Jacqueline says. TC, this is not she stated she was not a Christian and said, quote, unquote, to you so-called Christian, in my opinion, she cannot preach to me. So she's actually saying that, and then again, the opinion and statement are cool. So you know the Christians, the ones that are Christians and that are embedded in their belief, and they are taking whatever you're saying with a grain of salt. You see what I'm saying, Carol?
Yes.
That's what they're going to do. They're going to take what you're saying with a grain of salt. So this is why I'm stating that what I want the listeners to do is to listen. It is not objecting against anyone's religion or pointing a finger at anyone's religion. It's just to listen. Yes. The truth is somewhere there. Yeah. But sometimes we get so embedded in what we have been taught before. It has engraved on our heart and our brain. So therefore, we don't leave room for anything else. It's time for us to be critical in our thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to turn it over back to you now, Carl.
Thank you. First of all, we need to study the First Council of Nicaea of Christian bishops in AD 325 and understand how Christianity was set up and where the image of the white savior came from. The blue-eyed, long-haired individual that was put up as being the reflection of the Son, the Mashiach, which means Savior. Jesus Christ is a Romanic rendition of Yahusha HaMashiach. If you go back into Paleo Hebrew, which is where your scriptures come from. So my sister, I'm not preaching. I'm not a preacher. I'm in the business world. I'm not preaching. You either take it or leave it alone. And those who have ears will hear, and those who have eyes will see. But this is a time not to debate doctrine. This is a time to open our hearts in love, togetherness amongst our people first. What's happened to us? Because we are under judgment. We think because we're Christians, we're under judgment. We're okay because we believe, because we're saved by the blood. I've been around churches and everybody gets into the spirit. But when you leave and you go home, I don't hear from the pastor. I haven't heard from any pastors. You don't hear from the church sister or the church brother. You might be standing over here. We don't drive a lot. We take public transport because it's so irrelevant. So you could be standing at the bus stop and you see your sister drive past in the car and give you a wave. And you then say that you are a Christian because Father, the Most High said, if you look at the commandments, when Yeshua was asked what, about what's the real sort of, what should we teach? And he said there were 3 commandments. He said, love the Most High with all your heart. You must honor your mother and father, and love thy neighbor as thyself. The first requirement is to love yourself, but to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And I'm asking everyone, Christian, non-Christian, do you really understand the true nature of love, what it actually means to love someone or to love yourself or to love people? Now, one of the things that we don't understand about love is that we don't understand forgiveness. We don't understand togetherness. We talk about one another behind our backs, Christian, Hebrew, Muslim. We do not share. Okay, a brother come to you, I don't have no money, you don't give him the money, right? It's best to give than to receive. And I say this to the pastors, okay? Your tithing system is you're gonna be under judgment for. Now I'm preaching, okay? Because that tithing system is what you're going to be under judgment for. Because if you look in the scripture, tithing, touch me, my brother, was not a monetary offering, okay? So you can say you don't want to listen to me. You are walking, you can't pay your rent, you can't pay your light bill, but you're giving your money to pastor and pastor's family so they can sit there every Sunday on a day that wasn't ordained by the Most High, by your father, to live in luxury, because what? The Most High can do it. All is possible through him. Now my spirit is getting aggrieved by this, because that's one of the biggest judgment that's going to come on the so-called church. So I say this, what are you going to do now? The gates of the churches are locked. Where is the real temple of the Most High? It is in you. So what does he want us to do? He wants us to access the Shabbat, which is the Saturday, and make atonement for ourselves. He says you can access me through prayer, through meditation, and with a clean heart. That's the prerequisite. Is your heart clean? Because in the scriptures it says, for the heart of man is wicked, and who shall know it? So you come, smile, clap in the church, clap in the mosque, clap in the synagogue, but I don't know what's in your heart. So here is time for all of us to sit down and search our hearts. Israel, whether you want to believe it or not, you are Israel, Jamaica, Trinidad, Guyana, St. Lucia, Barbados, St. Kitts, Antigua, and the list could go on. You are descendants of the Lion of the tribe of Judah. You came on a westerly course, whether you're a Christian or not, you ended up in the Caribbean because you came through the annals of slavery and you were not a Christian. One of the biggest praises that we give in church, we say, hallelujah. Do we know what that means, brother? With the Yah at the end? The Yah was what we called him before they took away our language. We say hallelujah, not knowing what we're saying. We didn't say hallelujah Christ. You know what it is? It's a Hebraic by giving the Most High the highest praise. Hallelujah, praises to you, Yah. not Christ. Think about it. So, in order for us to understand, we must read and we must study and not be emotional and connected. Go back and look at who you are. We came from the motherland. They call it Africa. Africa's borders, the so-called Africa, or that space where we came from, was bigger, more expansive than what they show us now. You talk about Marcus Garvey. The reason why, when you look at how the tribes, when they took us into slavery, how things were set up by Jamaican fearless warriors, because that tribe of Judah, those fearless ones were taken to those land for breaking into. They broke in the Jamaican slaves before the Americans were taken into captivity. So they experimented on us. They took away our drum because they knew that we could use the drum to communicate with each other. They then started to look at how we operated. And they divided us by age, by skin color, because there were some lighter ones of us. And by then they started to rape our women, so we were mixed along the line. They did all of this, but you know what the Jamaicans did? There was an uprising with Nani, Koja, and the Maroons went up into the mountains and created their own commune. And the English tricked them slightly. But what did the Maroons use? They used their ancient spiritual powers to deceive the British armies. And that's what the Haitians did also in the Haitian Revolution with Napoleon. Okay, so where does that bring us to right now? The Sabbath. Whether you like it or leave or take it alone, we need to go back to our covenant day of worship, my brother, my sisters, because on this day we are to rest. We are to give praises to Him or to the Most High. We are to give love and share the word with our children, our friends. And I want to go into vibration, okay? Because that's what praise is. Christians, you say it. When praises go up, blessings come down. Now, that is to do with vibration. Each of us have a particular tone and vibration to our voice, which is unique to us, like our retina, like our fingerprints, okay? And it is when we give praises, it's our way of communicating with that force that ignites that spirit within us. And we can hear from our Creator on how we should be running our lives and what we should be doing in terms of love. So I encourage us to praise. And what was Judah? We are Judah. See, what are we renowned for? America, Jamaica, music. Judah was the praise tribe. We were the ones that would give the praises. We were the instruments players. We used the drum. We used the harp, not the harp that you see now. I believe it would be similar to what the Gambians play called the kora. We use the timbals. We use all those instruments to create vibrationary patterns. We say in the Shamayin for blessings, for the electromagnetic particles or the electrical particles, which is a God force to touch us and to create something special. And He created a day for that to happen. We can worship Him every day, but on that seventh day is a rest day. And you can see it in our DNA, brother, that everywhere we go, we impart on with our music. Now, reggae music, Jamaica, listen up. You talked earlier about reggae music. Is it something that we can when this is all over, what can we do? Reggae music is in its purest form, okay, with the right spirit behind it, is one of the most powerful medium of communication there is. Even so, that UNESCO, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, has added reggae to its list of cultural institutions worthy of protection and preservation. Did we know this? This is what they say of reggae music. There's over 300 cultural traditions, including numerous musical genres that have been protected under this UNESCO bill, okay? And it says of reggae music, this is UNESCO, it said, its contribution to international discourse on issues of injustice, resistance, love, and humanity underscores the dynamics of the element as being at one cerebral, socio-political, sensual, and spiritual. the basic social functions of the music as a vehicle for social commentary, a cathartic practice, and a means of praising God have not changed, and the music continues as to act as a voice for all. That is our music that descendants of the tribe of Judah have produced because we were gifted in this area. And this is what an organization, a world global organization, has said about our expression to the Most High. So I say to all the DJs, all the soul man them, okay? All the musicians, go back to the root of reggae. Stop all the digital stuff, because that vibration does not give you the wave pattern that you need to connect. Luciano, you're a brother connected. Culture, you are a brother connected. Bob Marley, let's say no more. And there are many others, okay? So whilst we are in this period of lull, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Are we going to carry on in this system? Or are we going to disconnect from the matrix? And maybe something that I've said will spark some kind of nerve in your DNA and bring you back to memory. Hallelujah. Of the pandemic, and I'm going to stop. And brother, I know there's loads of questions, but I'm just feeling a little bit tearful about this actually. Because, you know, in the book of Ezekiel, we're described as a stiff-necked, hard-eared people. That's what the book of Ezekiel describes us as. Hard-hearted, stiff-necked people. Okay? Now, this virus that has impacted the world, which has been released by man, through man by man, but it will not stand. They are using 5G technology to alter the airways and the electromagnetic frequencies, ensuring that powers the universe, and thus redirecting it through negative vibrations that has impacted society. The flu-like symptoms is a mark that these ways are working. We need to build our immune system, eat natural foods, I'm going to go into that, and minimize usage of our mobile phones, okay? This is the longest I've been on my mobile phone.
All right, let me say this real quick, not to cut you. There's a whole lot of comments coming in the chat room that we're going to share in a little bit before we leave. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, I am talking here with Carol Rose, as you can see on the screen here. Yes, and she's actually in the UK, and I'm liking where her mind's at. And of course, from time to time, we talk to individuals that, you know, take it back to the roots, that take time out to do some research and study and share their opinion with us. And in no way, shape, or form, I am going to be saying, if I am not of what my sister is saying, then you know me. I am going to say that I am not of what, and I don't. And I may agree to disagree sometimes, but if I disagree, I'll let you know that I disagree. Ladies and gentlemen, every nail that this sister knocks right here, hit on the head. Because I've been saying this for quite some time. I've been asking all these questions, ladies and gentlemen. Now, when she touch on topics such as, you know, our roots and our ancestors, she go on briefly by touching the music, how we do praise and worship. And she talk about even the reggae music itself. The reggae music is a genre that is one of the most uplifting genre there is. If our artists, she call a couple names who keep it authentic, such as Culture, such as Bob Marley, such as Luciano, Chronix, Garnet Silk, just to name a few of the ones that keep it authentic, meaning they don't quiver to the money part of this thing, but more so than to get the message out there. And you all know it. When you listen to these songs. Now, that music is, reggae music is a music that's, Bob said it, you know, it's going to teach them a lesson, you know. He has said it best. Now, if you take the best thing out of the music, we're not talking about the today music where a man describe how I'm going to do a man or do a woman. We're talking about the ones that the name that she specifically called out, and there's many more that are follow suit under the line of that. Some young ones are coming up like Chronics on Coffee, and some of them who are actually putting good context together so it can teach a nation, ladies and gentlemen. And this is why we're having this platform, this forum right here, where we can edify someone. Now, we know that most of the stuff them that we talk about are very controversial and very intimate to some of you, in the sense that you will take it somewhat personal. Now, all I am saying is just to be open-minded. Let's think outside the box for a minute. I'm not saying that you should stop whatever it is you're doing, or whoever you're praising, whatever worship you're doing. For years I've been saying that this tithe and offering thing is joke thing. I touched on it this week when I said that tithe and offering back then in Moses' days, when Jesus Christ came and he died, he had take away all that. Because before, tithe and offering mean you make a sacrifice in return for the covenant. Now, it's a covenant that you make between the Most High and yourself. In regards to, you probably, if you're a producer of fresh produce, like, you know, the apple, the grape, the yam, then you make that a sacrifice to the Lord. And some do cattle, sheep, and stuff like that. They make that as sacrifice to the Lord. Now we see a new age coming now. Some people say tithe and offering now. It becomes 1/10 of your earning. So simply mean if you earn X amount, you should pay X amount. I've heard pastors physically said this out of their mouth, that them rather have 10 quality members than a house full of members. 10 quality members meaning someone who are earn like a 3, 4, 5, 6 figure. So simply mean the more you earn, the more offering and tithe you throw. This is what it comes down to. Now it defeats the real purpose of you and I going to church, in terms of what we want to get by going to church, because now the service now becomes around why you should show your offering and tithe. So we just lost within the old midst of all this. My seeking and my understanding to this thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that there's a truth somewhere out there, but you won't know if you don't ask questions. You will not know if you don't stop for a minute and just listen. We are old enough to know right from wrong, what we should take, what we should leave alone, and stuff like that. Even though the challenge is there, because no one can come tell you right now that 1 + 1 don't equal 2. No one can tell you that right now, because it's what has been dispersed to us from the colonial side. So we know this coming up. So therefore, while we are saying 1 + 1 = 2, a man from the east may come and say 1 + 1 is 11, and we look at him and we laugh. But we can't knock a next man culture or way of living, because that's their thing. That's what they have learned. Likewise, a man can't knock yours. So when the scriptures say, who haven't sinned, cast the first stone. For real. Now, in the wake of the pandemic that's going on, ladies and gentlemen, it's a time for us to reflect. And I think that's what my sister Carl Rose is saying. Now that we should use the time to reflect. We talk about the churches are locked. No. The church doors are locked. No. So because it's locked now, that means we should put on pause from serving the Most High until this blow over? No. We praise him every day, same way. The pastors are now finding new ways and means for you to throw your tithes. It's not even about what's going on right now in terms of the pandemic and how we should find scriptures that can relate to us to be calm, continue holding our faith and our belief, and knowing that this too shall pass. It's more of, let's find ways now how you can throw your tithe, even with the church door closed. So the real truth here is, the church is really you, Because God not going to wait till this thing blow over for you. Praise him, So the real church is the body of you, the spirit that you have within you, the fire that's burning in you, the energy that you have. This is where it's all is, So you have to find ways now how we can connect with who we praise. That's all I'm saying. Carol, I'm turning it back over to you, sister.
Yes, thank you, brother. Just in 2 Chronicles 31, 4-5, and this was pertaining to the tithing that was happening at the time, because money has become our main focus, okay? And what's happening in churches now is what you call prosperity teaching, sow a tithe and claim it. But the scripture says, seek ye first the kingdom and all will be given unto you. He ordered the people living in Jerusalem to give a portion due to the priests and the Levites. The Levite tribe, or the priesthood, they had nothing for themselves. They had to rely on the offerings from the people so that they could donate themselves to the law of the Lord. The law meaning the Torah. We have to understand what the law meant. As soon as the order went out, the Israelites generously gave their first fruits of their grain and wine, olive oil and honey, and all that the fields produced. They brought a great amount, a tithe of everything. A tithe is a portion. Okay. Now, why is it that the church cannot tithe food, clothing, and shelter to the needy? Because there are many people in church. I'm on a lot of prayer lines. People don't have jobs. They don't have steer. They don't have money. They don't have any clothes. They live on, and they're in church. They're in church while pastor walks up with somebody carrying his Bible for him. And you have this thing called first lady. Pastor's wife is first lady. Come on, people, wake up. Wake up. Wake up. So I'm going to go back to very quickly, my brother, about the viruses. And I spoke about the pandemic, which is 5G related. 5G technology is being tested in the atmosphere. And what we are seeing is a form of radiation. They're calling it a pathogen because it's behaving like a pathogen, because the after effects is like a flu-like virus. Okay? But in effect, it's radiation. Now, in the last 150 years, there has been several so-called pandemics in the universe. The first one was, and research this for yourself, happened in around 1917 with the introduction of radio waves into the atmosphere. And there was what was called the Spanish flu. About 6 months after, there was a big pandemic that affected 500 million people on the planet, which was a quarter of the planet's inhabitants at the time, and we've tripled that now. And this was called the Spanish flu. And the name that they call the virus was H1N1. They give them names, but it produced an influenza type situation, and it affected a lot of people. Also, at the time, this was scientists looking at this, and at that time they were writing about it. The flu hit so quickly across the world, but at the time there was no real big international travel situation. It was horse and cart. There were no planes that one could transmit it one to the other. There were no motor cars per se. So travel was you couldn't pass it on through travel, and it was from one continent to the next. Then there were many others, but I'm going to bring it forward to 1968. There was the Hong Kong flu, which was the H3N2 virus. And this happened at a time when satellite stations were being set up on the Earth, emitting radioactive frequencies around the world. This killed 1 million people all over the world. I've just given two. Go off and study it for yourself. This 5G is called 5th generation or wireless communication technologies, and it supports the using of a higher millimeter of wave radiation, which is interfering with the Earth's natural electromagnetic waves, which is the God vibration. That's why he needs us to use vibration to counteract vibration and give him praise and bring your music, which was given for praise. Wasn't meant to be talking about grinding on girl, what slackness is going on in the dance hall, you lost your love. This is not what your voices and your instruments were given to you to do. It was given to you to be a vibration unto the Most High. Take it or leave it alone. Now, we talked about foods. Wherever he allowed us to be carried captive, he gave us rich soil. You spoke about it, my brother, in the Caribbean. Rich soil for growing ground food. Run to the shop and buy your pasta. Run to the shop and buy your processed foods, because that is not going to help you. Jamaica, Caribbeans, America, Black people, You know the secret of your Caribbean diet. You need live foods. You need foods that grow in the ground, because where were we made from? We were made from the ground. Every mineral that's in the ground is in our bodies. We need to connect to nature. We need to go in our gardens, take off our shoes and walk on the earth and draw the energy from the soil. Yam, dashin, banana, green banana. Listen, here is my busy. I've got much left. There's my busy. I don't drink. Here is my white rum full of pimento seeds, because my mum taught me how to use it to rub myself when I feel like I'm coming down with a little cold. Okay, we're not supposed to abuse this and use it. This thing, I tried some. I was like, who would put that into their bodies? This thing, it could fuel an engine, right? So it is there for us to use for medicinal purposes. I don't want to go into the weed because I don't want a big attack on me, but we know the weed is medicinal, right? I want to say to Rasta, show me the nation it's cured. You tell me it's the healing of the nation. Show me the nation you have cured through smoking marijuana. Marijuana has a different use, and we can farm it in Jamaica for the usage that it was meant to be. So the wow will come to us for the cure and the vibration to hold the body. Now, a good friend of mine, I'm going to big my brother up because he has helped to save my life actually in this situation, because I'm very sensitive to radioactive waves or anything that is off balance. I'm very sensitive to it. And that's Firesteed, the great, I know he's listening in London online. Firesteed, who was a man that became very, very ill and cured himself through natural herbs, black seed oil, sea moss, a range of other things. He got me this magnetic bracelet. I want to show it to you. Now, this bracelet is it's got a magnet in it. And as soon as I put it on, all the off-balanceness that I was feeling, because I can feel the electromagnetic waves that are going through the air that I'm emitting from my mobile phone, I was immediately, it was like a different person. Hence why I can sit here with you for nearly 2 hours and speak to you, or else I wouldn't have been able to do it. And when you look in the scriptures, you will see that in the Holy Land, in the ancient lands where we were, we mined copper, we mined precious metals. Okay, you saw it reflected in the film Wakanda, because what they do, they give us preemptive programming. They show us what's going on in films, but we just think it's entertainment. We saw a little bit of that. I know it's fiction, but there's always an underlying story. So metals and precious stones and crystals belong to us, and we need to use them to cure our bodies and bring ourselves back into alignment with the Most High, because everything that we need to cure our bodies, to nourish our bodies, can be found in the earth and in the firmament, the green, the vegetables, etc. It's all there. Also, I want to say that whilst we're stuck in the house, we need to not only be praying, but and nourishing our bodies with the right food. We need to be moving. We need to understand what exercise is to the body. Okay. Now they tell us don't do. There's an ancient practice which came from our monks that were our holy men that was sent eastward. Qigong, Tai Chi, that helps your body to slow down and replenish the organs. Exercises that you can do in the house, not pumping iron so you can look like the Greek gods, because that's where that comes from, the gymnasium. Brothers pumping iron, but you can't run if you need to pick up your child and run from destruction because you're not flexible. You're like He-Man. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. So it's not about pumping iron. It's about being agile and having your organs working in alignment with this body, which is your temple. There's a sister that you can find online in the UK, Frederica Charles, Light Exercise. You can find her on YouTube. Exercise with her. Women, pregnant mothers, the elderly are mothers. You know, you need to move. You need to get the blood flow circulating and get back to who we are and why we are. Everybody has a Bible in their house, right? We need to cast off our Eurocentric, African, American minds and go back, ask the Ruach, the Holy Spirit, to say, look, I'm ready. Go without, go like a child, take away pride. You don't have to like what I'm saying. We have done it like this for so long. Has it helped us? What's the definition of madness? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So now it's time for us to do something different, because what we have been doing thus far has not helped, has not stabilized our community. You talk about a stimulus package. We don't understand the vibration of money. So if money was to come flooding into the Black community now, whether it's here, Jamaica, it would done in 6 months. Because because we haven't got the kingdom in us. We would finish it in 6 months because we haven't got the kingdom, we haven't got the balance to understand how to use that type of currency. So our issue is not money, brother, sisters. Our issue is not money. Hallelujah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's our sister Carol. Carol, I tell you, I could talk to you for weeks, months, or years with the knowledge that you have, and of course, I want to thank you for taking the time out and coming here and expressing your opinion and giving us your true testimonies of the energy that you experience and the energy that you speak of. And we do need it take one to teach one, and it takes you taking this time out and sitting here and giving us this energy that you have. I do hope that our listeners, our subscribers, have gathered something from what you have been saying for the past hour now, and I do hope that they don't just knock it until they try it. You said the most important thing just now, that we have been trying this thing for so long, and we're getting the same result. There's nothing wrong in trying something different, for real, and we have done that. Many great businessmen and women do that over time. Business itself, successful business keep, renovating themselves from time to time. So we as human beings should do that. You talk about the body that we need cleansing and we need to replenish and so forth. And these are some structure. Remember, if we take it back, mankind has, I can't even do the math on the age of men. But I know that before, way back, our ancestors survived and lived long, 120, 200 years old, off of just the earth. Nothing of what is being produced right now, just the earth. So I know that whatever it is that is here on the earth is very vital, and we should not allow it to just pass away like that, for real. This is why global warming is, to me, it's serious. Because if you keep chopping down these trees just to build land, then therefore how the earth replenish itself by season, then you're going to find out that we have more summer than we have winter or spring, because of how are we maintaining the earth itself. Now, there's so much things that you have said that I totally in agreement with. And there is so much thing that you have said that others out there may not agree with. But this is what makes us unique as individuals. It's not everything that we're going to agree on. Sometimes we just have to agree to disagree. Sometimes you have to just hold your opinion and while the other hold theirs. But at the end of the day, there's a thing called a balance. And this is what you bring to the platform today. A balance. And I like it, because I could bring a pastor here and just do the old traditional thing. I said to our team just recently in a meeting that I'm so passionate about doing a forum where I want to get someone who speaks highly of the energy that you speak about. I want to get a traditional pastor. I want to get someone who is in politics. I want to get someone who is a homosexual, and have a platform of different individuals. And I'm quite sure that the conversation will spiral all over the place. But just by looking at the platform, the only thing that we have in common is that there are all human beings here on the platform. That will be the difference. But I'm quite sure the conversation will be very interesting. Hopefully I can get you to be a part of that forum when that time comes. Because I see that you are very much passionate about, the studies that you have done so far, and I'm happy that we could have you on as our guest today to, of course, share these information with us. Now, we leave this information with the people, the listeners, to go ahead and sieve it. Take what you want to take, get rid of what you want to get rid of. But for me personally, there was a lot there to take. I'm going to leave you with the last word today, Carol.
Brother, can I say very quickly about, because as I said, I cut my teeth in the fashion industry, and I want to speak a little bit about the impact of fashion on the environment. We tend to be a community of consumers. We love our clothes. That's cool. But clothing, in the UK alone, 350,000 tons of clothing are discarded to landfill each year, which causes a buildup of toxic gases on the environment. It said it's emitting carbon into the environment. Some of the fabrics that we're buying are causing damage to our health. Cotton and polyester are some of the most widely used fibers in the fashion industry. Cotton, one, because it was what we picked in the slavery time, in slavery, and it became one of the catalysts for the Industrial Revolution. It was not necessarily the best fiber. It was the fiber that they used to push the Industrial Revolution. Cotton and sugar. Polyester is derived from crude oil. It's a substrate of oil. These fabrics are not conducive to health. If you look at the way they are dyed, if you look at the whole process of fashion, and there's fashion design and there's the business of fashion, but the business of fashion is not easy, right? When you look into our ancient scriptures, you know the fabrics that we were given to wear? Linen. I used to wonder why Black people love linen so much, right? Black men in particular. Because if from your ancient priesthood days, you understood the importance of linen. It's a natural fiber. It only needs water and sunlight to grow. It is a seed because you can eat it. It's biodegradable. You can put it around. It's antibacterial, means when you wear it close to the body, it wickers bacteria. It was what we used for bedclothes. That's why we call it bed linen. It's what they use for bandages because of its antibacterial properties. Another fiber that we loved and we were told to use was silk. It's in the scriptures. Silk, because again, it's a natural fiber produced from the silkworm, not the way they're doing it nowadays, because they're really messing up that process. But the silkworm had a natural cycle. It ate leaves from the mulberry tree, then it spun its silk, then the worm becomes a moth, then it flies away in a few days, it dies. But that was its natural life cycle, and those residues were used to make silk. But because of greed, now the way they produce silk in the fashion industry, they speed up the processing, boil the worms, kill off the worms quicker to get the silk. So it's not very good, but there are still ethical silk production. The next fabric we're given is wool. Why? Because we knew the science of the land, and we knew that the sheep come certain time, you shear them, take the wool from the sheep, spin it, and make many, many things. And we were not harming the environment, we weren't harming people. We were doing what the Most High gave us naturally. He even gave us the fabrics that we should wear. Even. I wanted to go into the diet, but I'll do that another time. But because one of the things I want to say very quickly is that we should stop eating meat with the blood in it. Because blood is the life germ of the animal, even of us. And if there's disease in the blood, then the flesh is diseased. So we're eating meat, and we don't even, when you think back in the Caribbean, the butcher used to slit the throat of the animal and drain the blood, because we knew that from in our ancient times. Stop eating the meat with the blood in it. If you can't find kosher meat, don't eat the meat full of steroids, because we cannot guarantee that the blood is drained and the animal hasn't seen fear, which secretes an hormone into the meat, and you still eat in the blood, because there's a way to slaughter animals for consumption. And that's one thing I have to big up Rastafari, because they know this. They live by the Deuteronomy laws and the Levitical laws. But what they tell us in the Christian doctrine is that you pray over everything because Christ made it clean. And we are full of dis-ease. So, my brother, thank you. I want to say thank you to my long-standing friend Chris Knight, who made this very possible. I want to say a great thank you to Rude Boy Musa, that amazing griot out over there in Hartford, Connecticut. Young people listen to his music. A griot is an ancient storyteller. That's who we were. We told stories as well through our music. And we have griots on the planet now, but you need to use your talent for the right reason. And I just want to say thank you for having me. I know I get really passionate, but I don't know what else to do, mate. That's my Cockney accent. I'm not sure what to do, mate. This is a time of urgency for our people. And the Most High loves us, and he wants us back to him so we can be that which he called us to be on earth for the advancement of humanity. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so very much too as well. You bring a wealth of knowledge to our table and to our forum and to our platform, and we do appreciate you. And of course, I know that time wouldn't allow us to get everything out, but I know you have so much more on a list because you're such an orderly person, and I can tell by the way you go by your notes. So what I'm going to do is going to ask my team to try to see if we can get in on a part 2 reasoning with you, Carl Rose, because that would be so nice to have you back here with the bunch of knowledge. Now, the controversial continues in the chat room. Ladies and gentlemen, this show is available on YouTube and on Facebook when we're done here, and you can also watch it back on flexfm.online later on today. Now, there's a host of show coming up later on. Sean Garrett will be here with the Trivial just to break the ice. A lot of people are home, have nothing to do, so we've created a show called Trivial, the Flexx Trivial, ladies and gentlemen. That comes up at 7 o'clock. At 8 o'clock is the Coffee and Tea Time show with Coffee Barnes and TBT, and of course, Johnny Rich. So that's going to be here later on at 8 p.m. And then follow that is Fire Thursday with Dapper D to bring some fire to what you're doing. Guys, again, thank you so very much for being here. Thank everyone for sharing, those who share. And of course, to my special guest, Carl Rose, thank you for the burst of knowledge. Really appreciate you. All right? So see you guys on the flip side. Don't forget, tomorrow will be totally nice. I'll be sitting here with a very special guest, this young gentleman, Christopher Ugly, who is running for Broward County Clerk of Court. Right. So we'll be talking with him tomorrow right here, ladies and gentlemen. So stay with me, all right? With that being said, I'm out here. Have yourself a great, great Thursday. And until then, stay blessed, my people. Nothing but the truth, the naked truth. All right.
Taco wings, taco wings, taco wings. Taco wings and things. Taco wings, taco wings, taco wings. Taco wings and things. Taco wings, taco wings, taco wings. Taco wings and things. Come here and you will like it. If you don't want it, then don't buy it. So much options, don't fight it. Pick all you want, we don't mind it. We're all kind, we all grind. The best restaurant that will change your mind. You will love us, you will come back for more. Our food will have you running through that door. Look, taco wings and things is the best, and no time will be better than the rest. We're not shy, we spend time with our guests. I thank God, I feel like we're blessed. Look, taco wings, taco wings, taco wings. Taco wings and things.
So, last year you work around the clock to ensure that this tax season you see a return that may help you to purchase that car that you're longing for or help you to pay down that interest rate on that mortgage. Well, if you keep doing the same thing over